September 11th, 2001 resulted in the deaths of 2,977 people. It is the worst terrorist attack we've had on United States soil. Until now, baby! None of you may ask, what is an Adventure Time? Adventure Time is a show about Finn and Dog. Over time, Finn and Jake grow up along with the show. That's about it. Now, where does Fionna and Cake figure? Well, I'm glad you asked. Fionna and Cake are random one-offs that appear in 5 episodes, and they have one episode explaining how they came to existence, kind of. It's pretty much just handwritten away that it's beamed into Ice King's head. That's about all we know. Now, does it look kind of like magic stuff? Yeah. Could you assume it was Prismo? Yeah. Do we need a whole show about it? No. Finale came out in 2018, then we got Distant Lands, then nothing for 2 years. Before we start this, did you know that I liked the first season of Fionna and Cake? I like all of Adventure Time, until now. And just to show how badly Season 2 handles itself, I want to compare it to Season 1. You know, the funny thing about these two shows is they both have really bad introductions. This episode starts off with a dream sequence, and then Fionna wakes up, and then we're introduced to boring Seattle world. Hey, did you know that Seattle sucks? Well, now you do.
You never even wanted this stupid job in the first place. No one even cares about your darn tours!
5 billion more seasons, please.
Real Cake feel bad, she run into her friends, that's about it. And then Cake runs into a magic portal, ooh.
I command you to sit!
Can we please kill Lemongrab, please? Wait, that's it? I have to wait a whole week? Wait a minute, there's another episode that was released the same time as this one? And that happened every other week too, so I'd have 2 episodes? Thank you, Adventure... Alright, Adventure Time, you're on thin ice. This episode is split up into 2 very distinct halves. Ooh and Seattle. Let's go over the stuff I don't care about first. Fionna and her friends want to do something, but then their property gets taken away. Cake wants to bang this guy.
Finn is fucking dying.
After a thing from last season, he's on his deathbed.
Finn, what poisoned you? A cockatrice? A naga?
Whoa, I don't think we can say that. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to mention something super duper important, guys. Fionna like a male hunter. Hunter's wizard goes to the thing to get a cure, and then the episode ends there. I can't wait for next one, I'm so excited. Alright, so each season is gonna get a point depending on which episode I think is better than the other one. But first we're gonna need names. Well, since Season 1 is Season 1, we're obviously going to call that one Season 1, right? And then for Season 2, just to avoid confusion, we'll call it Adventure Time Season 2. Perfect. Anyway, Season 1 gets a point because I found it a little more interesting than just whatever Season 2 did. Episode 2 of Season 1 is an immediate improvement. Simon feels sad because everyone keeps bringing up Fionna and Cake. That's about it. And the thing is, I care about this guy, because I watched the whole show. Finn tries to help him, but that doesn't really work.
What the... Why didn't you tell me about the tree?
What tree?
And it also totally sets up Season 2, guys. I might just be being a little cynical here, but I feel like this was kind of just a throwaway gag that they turned into a plot point. Also, one thing I'll give to this show, I really like the soundtrack. I don't care if it has Rebecca Sugar in it. She knows how to make a good song. Sometimes. Anyways, he uses Evil Choose Goose to try and get Betty, and then that's how Cake jumps through the portal.
Huh?
And then Prismo is teased, and then that's it.
You belong in the trash with Fionna and Cake!
Season 2.
And now that both shows have had their actual intros now, I do not like the opening for Season 2. It feels like it's trying way too hard to just be another anime light show. Now, I mean, say what you will about the first season, but at least I don't need to swap over to something a little more palatable whenever my parents walk by because it's easier to explain. No, Ma, you don't get it. It's TV 14. It's for adults, Ma, I swear. On the boring, no one cares side of things, Fionna and crew come up with the idea to buy the property in Egypt.
A property in Egypt, and what they do for you is they give you.
Actually, I'm gonna go off on a little something. This is unrelated. Whatever happened to Google Drive? Like, I used to be able to find full TV shows, movies, whole documents filled with them. Like, you used to be able to find anything on Google Drive. Now you just can't. Like, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Now it's just those download links and, like, a folder with Fuda Time in it that only has 2 images.
I mean, let's say it's bad. I just want to know what happened.
Oh yeah, also Baby Finn and the tank from this one episode are in this episode. Now, at the end of episode 2 there, in the first season, those will be marked as crossovers, indicated by the little blinking light. How come Prismo has not fixed this? Anyways, Huntress Wizard tries to get the sap from the heart of the forest, and then it turns into this cool deer thing, and then she gets blown up, and then her limbs are scattered throughout the world, and they turn into seeds or something. Now, that's fine for a setup, I'd say. And she tries to get back to Finn, so she sees what the seeds see or something. However, important plot moment, none of those seeds actually end up in Oo, and one of them ends up in Fiona's world, and she ends up going to Fiona's world. Because both her and Simon are talking on the phone while they're taking Finn back to Oo. Oh, but I can't wait to hear about their next big plan to buy the property that they have the thingy on. Gotta say, real mixed bag of an episode. Because I don't care about one half of it.
Trying your best. But if you don't pull it together, everyone's gonna leave you. Now eat your waffle dog.
Now, if the Fiona World subplot was this, that'd be pretty epic. You are 0 for 2.
Yeah, I can count. You know that means you suck.
This one starts off with a Finn and Jake adventure. I don't like this design of Finn. Moving on. And then it turns out Prismo has been watching Finn and Jake reruns instead of doing his job. Incredible. Fionna checks to see where Cake is, and then she isn't where she'd thought she'd be. Cake gets some collar so she can talk.
There was song. I followed.
A song?
It sound like...
Where did you hear that?
Cake runs away and then jumps over the edge of the floating city.
Fiona!
Are you lost?
She runs into the squirrel from the tree episode and then runs into his lackeys and then beats them and then goes to some forest town or something. Then, it looks like no one likes her. Fionna is sad and is looking for Cake all night. Also William.
Thanks.
I'm gonna get started, and then we'll scour the city.
Where's
Cake?
William?
Simon starts doing the thing again and then Fionna ends up in his world.
Come through here.
You're not real!
Dude, what are you doing? And now because of random child, they're off to find Cake. And then they beat up everyone there and then they get beamed up.
You want an adventure? Well... Aw, my hat!
Overall, that was a decent episode. Season 2, Episode 3 starts off with this little bit that looks vaguely like the old show. I don't know, it's kind of cool. That's about it. But then it turns into Seattle World. Oh my...
1 billion more seasons, please. Please, I need this.
Okay, boring stuff first. They raise money, and then they think of making a fundraiser to raise more money. Also, Huntress Wizard, this whole episode is just dying of thirst. Now, you remember that thing I said a few minutes ago? Crossovers. Indicated by the little blinking light. How come Prismo has not fixed this? Well, we have an answer for Huntress Wizard. I'm not sure about the others, though.
There's nothing beyond the multiverse.
Okay, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you've been cool. This is the multiverse as you know it. And this is what she's dealing with.
Ooh.
Like I said,
not our problem.
What do you mean, not your problem? How is that not your problem? Because you just threw some vines on top of that? That doesn't count. Now, I get that stories are built on conflict, but you can't just drop this conflict out of thin air.
Then whose problem is it?
Who cares? I just want to play games and not think about all this stuff.
Writers deserve less. You can't just hand wave this away. This is what your whole season is based off of.
Another crow dream.
Anyways, Fiona gets Hunter to get the park set up for the thingy. And then, ooh, love triangle, ooh.
I like your harness.
I will burn this planet down.
Cake goes on a date to this one place, and then Fiona finds out there's a fern version of her. She's very upset by this, so she leaves and then goes to Hunter's shack or something. And then we get to, like, the only bit I saw people talking about online. Now, that, my friends, is a top surgery scar. People argued about blah 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 online. I don't care. It don't matter. None of this matters. Now, what I did learn was that the voice actor probably also had the I don't care. They kind of just made Hunter into a self-insert, but I don't care. Different world, different dimension, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Fiona's feeling sad and she wants to smooch with him, but then he doesn't want to because that would be bad because she's drunk. She tries calling Simon, but he isn't picking up. Then she's super sad, and then her tears rejuvenate Huntress Wizard. I also like the little bit of character work they do with Fiona here, where she feels like she's gotten left out of anything good.
Where's my happily ever after?
Oh yeah, and then the Croak dream is Big Destiny getting killed by his son. I'm so excited. I love these characters.
Damn. Choice croak dream.
Actually, I think you mean this. Finn is still on the brink of death, and then a bunch of princesses come over to try and give him that one kiss to bring him back to life. I don't know, that was mildly entertaining.
You know, I really did love you.
Well, Phoebe, guess you weren't the one. I am seeing someone else now.
That's why you a hoe.
And then they get the idea to use the Enchiridion, and then that's the end of this subplot. Now, this one might have been a close call, and I might have had more to say about Season 2's episode, but I'll give it some leeway. I did find the third episode a little more engaging than the Season 1 episode. I mean, next episode, though, that's not even fair. Like, Season 1 murdered it out of the gate. There's this guy called the Scarab, and he's bad potatoes.
Finally.
There's this random seal that comes in here, and then he's wanting to make a wish or something. Random.
You have no idea what it took. The terrible things I did.
And the thing is, it could literally be anyone.
His name is Wyatt. That's you.
Well, that's also that guy.
His name might be Wyatt Russell, but you're Wyatt.
I don't have to take this from people who don't have a bootleg copy of Fionna and Shake Season 1 on Blu-ray.
Why do you own that?
Because they didn't release it yet.
Why wouldn't you support the artists whose hard work you now critique? That's not cool.
Okay, name me one thing HBO Max has put on DVD recently.
I like when Peacemaker takes off his pants in episode 2.
I wish it was quiet enough to think. Wish granted. Oh, wait,
And then he finally sees what's going on.
A crossover, okay.
Fionna and Shake, the real ones!
Oh, crud.
Aw, my hat!
Prismo then fixes both of them, making them look a lot more like how they originally did, and then gets Simon in to figure out what happened.
Get here.
I stepped through a portal on that sad man's head.
Better take a closer look.
And then Fionna and Cake get a lore dump on why their world is like that. It stayed magic because Ice King's brain you could just write whatever onto, but then after Golb, Simon just reset back to normal, so Prismo couldn't mess with it, and then everything just kind of went normal because he is normal. Oh yeah, and then we get the worst cameo ever made.
Drink the water, you beast! You beast of burden! Drink this water!
Just get the wife beater back. Don't do that again. Oh yeah, and then the scarab arrives, and then that's super spooky. And then Prismo learns that maybe this Fionna isn't exactly the same as his old one.
It's not my legs, it's this damn skirt.
Girl, you look good, though. Weird. You never had any trouble with skirts in my stories.
She got pants now.
And then we also learn Fionna World isn't exactly connected to the multiverse, blah blah blah, set up for later episode. They get found out, Prismo gives them a magic remote, they escape right in the nick of time. Now they're in some crazy world.
Bring magic back to your world and make it last forever. I need to become Ice King again.
Gulp indeed. Decent episode. This one has a Huntress Wizard flashback, it's fine, I guess.
And then they have to buy stuff for the fundraiser.
Fionna gets the bright idea to look for flame prints for the fundraiser.
Nothing!
Best episode ever. Cake gets a call from the Cheers people, and she thinks she can do that to get more money, so they don't have to do the fundraiser. Huntress Wizard kills a snail, that's kinda cool. Fionna keeps looking around all sad and stuff because they used to date, which I will say was probably my favorite part of the episode in the Fionna world. She runs into Girl Fern and Hunter.
Hey, you ready for the meeting with the Parks Department?
Boy, I sure hope they don't drag that out again. Cake meets the Cheers people and then it turns out they're all tiny. Fionna goes back to her apartment and then she sees little Huntress Wizard.
What are you?
Oh my god, you're so cute.
And then she feeds her ham, and then she runs out.
Man, I hope she makes it to the Parks Department meeting.
Cake goes on Cheers, and then she is just used for a gimmick, and then she doesn't like that they make jokes about her, and then she tries to kill the cast of Cheers, and then that's another dead end. Huntress Wizard gets up to full strength, that's it. Then she gets a call from Princess Bubblegum on Fiona's phone asking what happened to Finn, and then out of anger she destroys the phone. Considering that's their only lifeline, I'd imagine that'd be more of a plot point. Then they run into Flame Prince, then she misses the thingy, oh no. And then they're also getting evicted, oh no. Now it's time for the stuff I care about. Wait, what do you mean it's stupid again? Prismo can't do anything because...
So lately, I'm having kind of a wish-granting problem. What happened to you, P? You used to be magnificent.
You made me walk all that way for nothing.
Okay, guys, you're welcome. Bye!
You brought Stuber back just to make a lame joke and write yourselves into a corner? What is wrong with you?
Why are you blue?
But you did...
So as a last resort, they go get the demonic wishing eye. Then the phone call happens. That's about it. Do better, Season 2. We're going to Farm World. This episode is just kind of whatever. They come up with a plan. Fiona's shirt gets ruined.
Starting to smell. Hold this for me.
Any excuse to be more naked.
Don't make it weird.
Don't you try and lie, writers. I know why you did that. They head into the town. Ooh, look, it's Farm World, guys. They beat up Human Choose Goose, and then they head to Finn's house. Also, Finn has kids now. That's kind of cool. Also, Human Scarab is there after they leave to look for the crown. And then they find the crown destroyed after the hit episode, Crossover. Also, one of Finn's kids is dating Big Destiny's daughter. That's important for later. After a kerfuffle, they get the crown jewel, and then they put it into the remote to try and track crowns.
His arrival, I stopped to pick some wild fennel.
Dude, he picked up Peak.
Man, I sure hope Farm World Finn is fine. That one was alright. Season 2, episode 5 starts off with character I don't care about.
Oh, look, he liked Marceline because he met ice cream. I don't care.
I feel like they kind of just threw this in here because it was done in the original. However, I don't find these characters endearing, and I don't care about Marshall. Huntress Wizard has clothes, and then she goes off on a quest to find the heart of the forest so she can return to Ooh. These two have a subplot where they go to Gary's parents' house. That's it.
He's ready for a little Bubba showcase.
Adventure Time. No, you can't show that. Huntress Wizard tries to do something, but then it doesn't work. Cake gets invited on another date from that guy, but then because it's this show, it doesn't happen. And they both get magically sucked in the tree. Fionna runs into Flame Prince, and then they meet the greatest rapper of all time.
Marsh! Now put your hands up. Now put your hands back down.
They look through the tree, and then they find old memories from the tree, I guess.
Huh? Is someone there?
Yeah, me, Cake the Cat, and it's adventure time.
Peak dialogue right here. They kind of just repeat that a few times, and then, ooh, look at this.
That felt good.
And then they look into a future memory, and then it's Baby Finn killing giant butterflies. And then Cake learns it's actually the butterflies that did it because no spiders. And then Fionna sees that they're about to bulldoze the lot, and then she increases the money from $50,000 to $70,000. Thank you for drawing out this subplot. And then the guy from the flashback is revealed as this guy. And then Cake sees another future thingy where Fiona's working for Marshall Lee's mom. It doesn't matter. And then they make it back to the real world. And then Cake fixes the future. Hooray. Oh yeah, you want to guess what happened with the demonic witching eye? That's right. Fucking nothing. Mid. After last episode, they end up in a world where Ice King is good.
Worry not, friends. You're safe now.
Now, I don't want to sound like too much of a hater, but I don't like this design. Like, there was a perfect design already in the show. Anyways, this Ice King is super duper nice, and he plans on helping them get a crown, and everything is fine. He lets Fionna train with swords, he fixes the phones, and everything is fine. Also, this specific segment of the episode got this one the Emmy for character animation. Which, I mean, it's fine. It feels a little forced whimsically, but it looks nice. Also, this Princess Bubblegum is actually evil! Also, B-plot, this guy and the other guy need to go shopping because Fionna aren't there.
I have fun doing this job.
And then the store has someone oh my god, it was you! Guys, I think we gotta kill Shane Dawson here.
That came all over the can. No, you didn't.
They get their supplies, and then he starts talking about these little cookie people he's making. And then he gets to meet with some oh my god, no!
It tastes nice, but I hate their little faces!
Just get the guy from Rick and Morty Season 7, please.
No, see, that's part of it. All the baked goods are characters, and the bakery is like their kingdom.
Yeah, my bakery is not like any other bakery. These have names and lives and children that you can keep up with weekly. And we call our appetizers shareables. Anyways, Fionna kills a bunch of people in self-defense, and then it turns out when she touches stuff, sometimes it turns back to
Just metal and glass.
But then it turns out Ice King's not actually good. And then it turns out Slumsville McGee didn't get the investment, but he's fine with that. But next time they're gonna get the crown, guys. Bring it in, team. Season 2, Episode 6 starts out with Cosmic Owl getting a brother, or an explanation of his brother that he's never talked about before. I wonder if we're gonna see him this season. Marshall Lee's mom agreed to cover the fundraiser. Huntress Wizard starts dreaming baby Finn as normal Finn. And then we see old Finn from distant lands. Oh no.
I'm gonna give Finn a croak dream.
Okay, enough being sarcastic. I actually do like a lot of the dream visuals in this episode. Also, it just so happens to feature the thingy from the last episode. Score 1 for me. Also, through a bunch of Inception rules, she ends up seeing Farm World Finn's dreams.
Hey, how's your head?
My head is fine. Shay ran away with little Destiny.
It's okay. They're both very happy and safe in my world.
Your world?
And then there's a bunch of other dreams, and then Finn dies in all of them, but then the Cosmic Owl shows up for real at the end, so now they've got to kill the Cosmic Owl.
I stopped the Cosmic Owl in time.
So then they stuff his body in Finn's dream. Finn tells her that he loves her, but she's not ready for that yet. And then DJ Flame agrees to do the show, and then the love triangle continues. Oh yeah, for Ooh, Princess Bubblegum thinks of giving him a de-aging serum to make him look better. Marceline bites his neck so that he's a vampire, but then that doesn't work. And then BMO draws on Finn's face.
He's risen.
I liked that one a little more than the Winter King episode, mainly because it has my favorite character. Good job, Season 2. Fionna and Cake end up in this new world where vampires have taken over. That's it. Potato Famine, oh yeah, they try and get the crown, but it doesn't work, oh no. And then in real world, I don't know, they kind of have a boring-ass romance subplot. I don't care. You see, I think the writers of this show think that just because it's an alternate version of characters I already care about, that I'll care about them the same. Well, the difference between something like this and Obsidian, I've watched this show for like feckin' ever, so I'd care more about a spin-off with these two instead of these two. And the thing is, I care about Fionna because she's the main character, but these two just don't do anything. Overall, it's fine. I just don't really care. I mean, Season 2's Episode 7 is alright. Fionna and Fennel go look for DJ Flame. That was kind of fun for a bit. They get, like, wizard eyes for a bit, but that, like, barely plays into the episode. There's some boring subplot about Marshall Lee and his mom, but I don't care. I already knew she was probably a piece of shit. Her placing a restraining order against this woman does nothing for my opinion of her, nor Marshall, nor anyone. Huntress has a subplot where she ruins Lemongrab birthday. Oh yeah, Fionna goes to Venus, but then it turns out it's actually all a dream or something. I don't care. This episode is a filler episode if a filler episode ever filler episode. I liked Fiona's plot the most, but that's kind of it. But now we get to the most exciting part of the episode. We finally see what they do with Finn. That's right, there is none. That's strike 5. You're on the bench, son. This episode is probably my favorite of the season. It plays off of 2 episodes I really like, Finn the Human and Temple of Mars. We get to see what the world the Lich created in Finn the Human looked like.
You're ruining my vision! What? What happened?
Hey, did you guys see that? You know that was a ghost wearing a dead guy.
And then a lesser known fact is in the episode Temple of Mars, Betty talks about this trip she was supposed to go on, and we get to see her leaving for it.
But I never took that trip. I met Simon the next day, and he was just so amazing. I put everything on hold to help him search for the Enchiridion.
What a cool attention to detail. Also, throughout the episode, it's kind of hinted at Simon having to work through what she worked through in this episode. Kind of.
So you got on the bus with her?
Yep. Well, no. Why would I?
So in the episode, it's not really said, but she does move on from being able to help Simon in any way until she steps out of the temple and then loses her mind again, which I think is what's going on. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I've learned that I just gotta work even harder to get it back.
But yeah, they keep looking for a crown. BMO shows up to help. They do find the crown, and then they plan on going with their original thing of going back in Simon's head, and then he makes everything magic again. But then, uh-oh. Man, what a cool episode. Please don't make me review Season 2 again, balls. I'm tired, boss. Also, this is unrelated. You ever see The Green Mile? That was a good movie. It's not as good as Shawshank, but I do think it gets left out of a lot of the conversation as some of the greatest movies ever made. Not just in terms of the great movies that have been made out of Stephen King books, but just movies in general. The fact it made me care so much about a little mouse that had, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of screen time, if we're being conservative. And not to mention, Michael Clarke Duncan just knocked it out of the park with this movie. He deserved the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, okay, who won that year? Michael Caine? Michael Bain is the scariest thing I've ever seen Caine for Cider House Rules. I knew you had something to do with his death, you bastard. They go to space court, and then Fiona blames Finn, so then they have to bring him in so that they can save him. And then the show goes on at the Lemon Grabs, and then they raise all the money, and then Fiona doesn't like that they did it without her, so then she bulldozes it. She also upgraded the love triangle into a love square. Oh yeah, and then Cake doesn't like Shane Dawson.
Please, Gordon, maybe today wasn't the day to wear your mesh stormtrooper shirt.
Sorry, it's...
And then Finn got brought to Space Court. I can't wait to see that in the next episode. What is going on, Season 2? You shouldn't mix your Seattle melodrama with your Adventure Time beloved character is dying subplot.
I do?
No, you don't.
You could use one or the other for Season 2. You can't mix both. Because eventually you run into the problem of your season feeling uneven. Did you learn nothing from Season 1?
No. You flunked me. Remember? No.
Fiona gets back to normal world.
What is this?
What the hell's wrong with you?
Simon finally gets to Betty, and then Betty turns the Lich into a Tetris. That seems pretty gnarly, and like she has a pretty good grasp on the powers. Oh, and then the Scarab shows up and he tries to kill Simon, but then she turns him into a bunch of little bugs. And then keeps turning him into a bunch of little bugs. But uh-oh, it looks like one got in. Man, I wonder if she'll do the same thing she did last episode, or the thing she did 5 seconds ago. Simon gets transported into the body of Adam Goldberg.
What just happened? I'm in another weird version of Ooh.
Well, actually, technically, you're in the future. And then they start reading a book by Simon, but that's not important until the next episode. Also, they spent most of the episode gathering up the scarabs, but it doesn't matter at the end. And then that's how they end the episode. Bye-bye. Oh no, the interdimensional monster that they trapped in bottles for some reason. Hunter's Wizard makes it back to not the multiverse, and both Fiona and Cake tag along, and then they fall down a level. Now you might ask, what is one level down from Plant Multiverse? Those red balls have something to do with it.
When someone in the multiverse pushes down a thought, I process it so it can fruit again on these trees. A new framework, a little lighter.
Do you mean to tell me that one level down from Plant Multiverse is everyone's pushed down feelings? Now, I'd get it if this was like, I don't know, normal multiverse thing, where, oh, it's on this big branch or whatever. No, this is on the plant one. What does this have to do with the plant one? Because it literally has a plant. But basically, if you work through it, then it floats back up. That's it. Hey guys, remember Fern? He's back!
Whoa.
You don't want to see that one.
It should have been you 1,000 times over.
Cake wants to stay in this hellscape because of the worm, and then the worm is actually the Cosmic Owl's brother, and then he brings him back from a bad memory, and then he comes back and then he saves Finn. And then Fiona is allowed to go back home, but uh-oh, Hunter's Wizard can't. Tune in next week on Christmas Day to figure out what happens. Some executive at WB just hates this show. It got like no advertising. They released it one day after another, and every once in a while the HBO account would post something about it. I think at this point WB just doesn't care. If it's not Finn or Jake, it's probably not making them any merchandising sales, so just drop that whenever. Focus on the good stuff, like Hey Yo Bimo. I will say I did shit on this episode a little more than I meant to, but I did enjoy it. It's just I like Adam Goldberg, and I don't want that planter anywhere near my show. Simon has his epiphany, and then Adam Goldberg is free.
Hey, Beth, I was a prisoner in my own head!
Facts, Adam. That's just like the 4th best Jordan Peele movie. They fight with the Scarab a bunch. This part of the episode is easily the best.
Oh, Betty.
And then he arrives at the same conclusion Betty did back in Temple of Mars. And then figuratively lets her go. And then Fiona World comes out of his mouth, and then he puts it in Fiona World so that Fiona World can be its own Fiona World. Oh my god, I love Evangelion! Oh yeah, and then Simon goes back to his world, and then Prismo sees that Fiona World is its own, and now the Scarab is no more.
Okay, if we just stayed here?
Yeah, dude, fuck my family. And then they end the season on a somewhat optimistic note. And it does its job. It ties up everything fairly well, I think. Anyway, season 2. Finn is more sickly than ever. And then Huntress Wizard looks through the other seeds that dropped in episode 2, I think.
Mom? You came back!
Now you see, this is where Fiona and Cake's ill-defined world building really stabs it in the back. Because supposedly everyone in Fiona and Cake is an opposite of someone from Adventure Time. But then that's not exactly the case because Hunter, the banana guards are also exempt from this rule, so what's the deal? I don't think they thought it out completely, that's it. But you know what? At the end of the day, it don't matter. None of this matters.
Crap.
What time is it? Slime time!
And then Huntress Wizard gets back to Ooh and then turns Finn healthy again because of the other versions of her something, I don't know. Actually, he's not back, fuck you. And then Fiona has to go into Finn's mind and sees a bunch of member berries and then has a moment I really like in his hero heart reference.
You were the cut voice. There's a lot of people waiting for you up there.
Then why do I feel so dump trucks? No one loves me like Jake.
Huntress loves you.
She said that?
Not with, words. I know she's as expressive as a tree stump, but underneath, she's as scared of messing up as anyone.
Are you scared?
Yeah, but mostly I think I need to chill my beans. Huntress made me realize I don't have to fix things. I just have to actually listen to my friends, to communicate better. And when it matters, show them I care.
I know it's very stupid, but I don't know, I thought it was sweet. And then Finn is back awake, and then everything is fine. And then she makes it up to her friends, and then makes it up to her other friend. Prismo didn't even do anything this season. Oh yeah, and then everything in Ooh is fine. Huntress Wizard becomes a teacher, and then something odd happens. I know it's probably supposed to be metaphorical or something, but there's just something so odd about this scene where they've realized there's an outside of the city, but there's not even anything else. It's just the city. Like look at this. I don't know how else to describe it other than just that clip. It's just so eerie. And the thing is, in the last season, they have a scene similar to it, but it doesn't reach this weird, uncanny valley.
Just a normal world.
They both kind of try to go for the same thing of, oh, there's more than just this little city, but the second season just feels so weird, and it's the final scoreboard. It's anyone's game. Season 2 did a fine enough job. However, the thing is, it just kind of feels like it drags on, and that's the main problem I have with it. It drags out everything. And I watched it out of maybe respect for the Adventure Time team, maybe just that sunk cost fallacy. It could have been anything, But I will say, I think the team still can do some of those beautiful, heartfelt, sincere moments. Like,
Drink this water!
anyways, Watchmen! Actually, guys, on second thought, I'm not gonna do the Watchmen video. I was maybe too harsh on it. You know, it has episode 5, and, you know, episode 7 has Vietnam. You know, that's pretty cool. You think Watchmen has good parts? Well, yeah. There's no forgiving Watchmen. I'm coming back, for the beast must be slain.